The SEC has said time and again that fraud is rampant in the cryptocurrency space. And you know what? They're going to make sure it stays that way with the twist of words that the SEC is now coming out against auditors and accountants. Really interesting that we're going to get into today's video. And there's another thing that pretty much proves who is their favorite in terms of crypto versus Wall Street. In case for those of you who weren't sure, this second story will definitely prove it for you. This is Crypto Tips. Hit like and subscribe if you're always watching our videos, and if you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit subscribe with the bell notification because we put out videos every single day doing our best to keep you up to date on what's happening in crypto and how your respective governmental jurisdiction and regulator is treating your cryptocurrencies. Hit subscribe. I recommend it. But before we get into that, I'm going to interrupt this regular broadcasting. Basically, news is coming out today that Brian Armstrong did an interview with Financial Times saying that prior to the SEC filing this lawsuit against Coinbase, they actually demanded that Coinbase stop listing any cryptocurrency that wasn't Bitcoin. And when they asked why, the reasons why, because according to Coinbase, they don't agree with that according to the law, securities law, the SEC basically said, you know what? We don't have to explain it. This is just what it is. And it was just another perfect example of Gensler at the helm, being the judge, the jury, and loving to be the executioner of all cryptocurrencies in the US. And Brian Armstrong does say that, you know, if that was the case, if the SEC brought that against every exchange in the US, centralized exchange, then it would be the end of crypto in the US. That would be the end of centralized cryptocurrency exchanges in the US. Anyone who knows how to use a VPN and knows how to use a decentralized exchange and DeFi and a wallet that they control, crypto is still a very free way to interact with that if you know those tools. If you don't know what we're doing with our cryptocurrencies and why, please check out a link to the CT Club down below in the video description. If you're thinking of joining, maybe join on the 1st or the 2nd of August or the beginning of the next month. So then the billing period is much easier on you. Anyway, let's get into the rest of today's video. So right off the bat, the SEC has come out and said that all of these accountants that are working for cryptocurrency exchanges and offering, you know, trying to offer any type of transparency in terms of what's happening with them financially, shouldn't be doing. The SEC thinks these accountants should not be doing this whatsoever because he's claiming that the cryptocurrency exchanges are now taking what these accountants are doing and advertising it to the general public like you and me, saying that we've been fully audited. Well, maybe that is, you know, if that is true, that's horrible that the cryptocurrency exchanges are doing that. The SEC is calling this a non-audit, basically. It's not a comprehensive audit of everything that the cryptocurrency exchange may or may not be doing. And honestly, I wouldn't put it past some cryptocurrency exchanges from doing this. Do you remember when FTX went down and it was just, all the other cryptocurrency exchanges were trying their best to proof of reserves. And then do you remember two particular cryptocurrency exchanges were basically sending funds to and from each other so they could prove that they have reserves, sending those coins off to another exchange, and then that exchange could prove that they had reserves. So, okay, let's be honest here. Centralized cryptocurrency exchanges could do better. But the fact that the SEC is now actively discouraging accountants from working with cryptocurrency exchanges to provide any kind of transparency on what's going on, especially when the SEC at the same time is saying how fraud is rampant in the cryptocurrency space, it is not a good look. Furthermore, you know what isn't a good look is when the SEC tries to have their Wall Street friends get some relief from regulation and fees to be paid if a particular investment instrument doesn't have that securities label on it. A recent DC Circuit overruled a ruling for the SEC. You know, first is Ripple, now it's this. Basically, the SEC tried to have It's called spikes, which is a volatility index on the stock market. And they're trying to have it reversed to be labeled as just a futures instrument rather than a securities futures. And a judge went ahead and reversed that to slap the securities name on it, claiming that, you know, the SEC going soft in this way for this particular instrument causes confusion for other market participants. Yes, it does. You know what else it causes? It causes us to realize who is lining the pockets of the SEC. Probably whoever runs this spikes investment index. Obviously, it's from the stock market and it's involving Wall Street. And they didn't want this particular index to have the burden of having to do all the reporting, all the fees, and all of the red tape that comes through of being labeled a security, even though, you know, the SEC would love to slap every single cryptocurrency as a security, trying to smother that one out as best they can, because they can't control it. It's a sad story seeing the SEC trying to grasp at straws here and trying to play favoritism, but it's a tale as old as time at this point, especially comparing what happened in 2008 when the regulators, oh man, there was a whole bunch of conflict of interest, who the credit rating agencies were getting paid off by and who they were favoring and how that played out. Anyway, regulators look out for themselves, not for you, the end investor, like they claim to be. And this is just our daily reminder. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow.